Hello, I'm Sock Puppet Kingdom, and this is my SGDQ submission video for Blob. Now, this was originally a 2009 Wii exclusive, however, it's recently been remastered for PC and current-gen consoles. I'll be running the PC version. Time starts when I choose Blob's mood, so right now. Alright, so this game is a 3D platformer, and the objective is to paint the environment. It's very similar to Splatoon in that sense. And by painting the environment, you get points, and when you get enough points, you can reach the end of the level. So it's very simple, and the simplicity allows for a lot of freedom in how you can complete these levels. You can in fact skip entire sections because you got enough points beforehand, and we're going to be doing that quite a bit in this run. Alright, so let me explain to you how the painting system in this game works. So, this creature I'm going to lock onto and slam, that's a paint bot. Paint bots give you 10 paint points. The amount of paint points you have is represented in the lower right corner of your screen. So, I just did a little thing there. I completed a mission before talking to the NPC. That NPC's name, by the way, is Artie. I'm going to be referring to these missions by the character name, so that is an Artie mission. Different paint bots give you different colors. You can combine paint bots to get secondary colors, like green, purple, and orange. And by combining all three primary colors, you can make brown. And that thing I just slammed into is called a transform engine. These paint the environment around you, and they also give you a lot of points. It's generally recommended to slam into them while doing an any % run. Now, the more paint points you have, the slower you go, and it's also slightly harder to maneuver your character. So, it's generally recommended to keep yourself light on paint. However, sometimes that's not really possible. So it really just depends on what you're doing at the time. Alright, so what I'm doing here, these are combos. The combo system of this game is very interesting. Basically, you get multipliers, and you use your wall ride in order to get combos. So I just did 2 missions there, and I also did something that's called a multicolor, or at least that's what I call it. So basically, buildings in this game are divided into groups. And when you paint a group of buildings, then you get a point bonus. That point bonus increases the more colors you use when painting a group of buildings. So that means that it is best to see how many paint bots are nearby, and really have to like weigh the risks of going and getting paint bots versus, you know, how many colors would be good for painting that group of buildings. Okay, so that was pretty good. Alright, so allow me to go a bit more in depth on the mechanics of this game. I'll do that in the Uptown level. So this is a little bit longer than the first level. It's really, I'd say, the first real level of the game. So those things in the background there, those are called Inkies. They are the main enemies of this game. More powerful variants get introduced later on. The initial variants, they give you 50 points per, and they can be comboed. So I just set up a little mission there that you unlock later. It is an Artie mission. You are supposed to color that group of buildings blue, and the group of buildings beside it purple. I'm going to set up the purple part right now. However, I'm not going to do... I'm not going to color the whole group of buildings purple. I'm just going to color the upper part here. And then I'm going to make myself red, sort of set up a little multicolor here. And I'm going to set up another mission here where I'm supposed to paint this group of buildings red. Also, I need to get a little time bonus here because I'm currently doing another mission. And time bonuses, when you're in the middle of the mission, they contribute towards the timing of the mission, not the actual level timer. The level timer is, of course, represented in the top left corner of the screen, while the mission timer is represented in the top right. So now I'm going to make myself orange. I'm going to do the final 3 buildings there, get a 3-color bonus in that group, and then I'm going to do the rest of this little group here. Get a 3-color bonus there because I did color those 2 buildings in the center, yellow and orange. And then I finish the racing mission. I call them a zip mission because the character who gives them out is called Zip. So now I'm going to make myself purple, and I'm going to recolor that building purple, or maybe not. Okay, now I'm going to recolor that building purple. Alright. And then I'm going to go to Artie. She tells me that I completed the mission. And these things right here, these are called gradients. As you can see, they can be comboed. They're pretty nice. Alright. And I already completed this mission. The objective was to make those buildings yellow. So now I'm going to do this mission. You're supposed to make this group of buildings green, and also the group of buildings right next to it green. So this group of buildings is significantly larger. I'm going to not paint that building right there until the end, and I'll tell you why in a bit. So basically, I'm sort of messing with how the gradients spawn. I want to get a big combo, and the way to do that is to sort of combine gradients here. So gradients are going to be freed out of that block. The reason why I painted that building last is because gradients, they only spawn out of buildings with doors. And the building that gradients spawn out of is the and the building that gradients spawn out of is the building closest to the last building you painted. So I just unlocked a transform engine. I'm going to sort of do a little combo here so that I can get 90,000 points and get yet another transform engine. Alright, so that's good. Alright, I do like being a little bit smaller in this section since it makes my jump physics a bit better for the wall ride that's coming up, but this is still fine. So I'm going to do a little wall jump here in order to go through this bridge a bit faster. Wall jumps are the fastest form of movement in this game after all. Alright, so that was pretty good. Alright, that was a great combo, by the way. Yeah, combos here. Pretty much the entire later section of this level is almost all combos, save for this one arty mission right here. So if I follow off this arty mission with a good combo, then you can get quite a few points. Alright, that was really good. Okay. And then I just combo straight to the end of the level. Okay. That should be enough. I still need like about 2k. Okay, that's enough. So these are leech bots. They don't really do much to you in this part of the level, but they are kind of a nuisance in later parts of the game. More specifically, a certain level that I will get to soon. Alright, so that was pretty good. So the next level is called Downtown. So this has a few pretty interesting strats in it. I'll go into them right now. So, as you can see, there's a mission right over there. I'm going to ignore it completely, because it is not the most optimal way to get through here. I'm going to instead talk to Artie, who's hanging out on this monorail station. So she wants me to paint these billboards. She wants me to use the monorail here to do it with, but you don't really have to use a monorail. You can just wall ride, and it's a lot faster. And if you follow it off with a large combo, then you can easily get like 18k or even 20k. Okay, so that was pretty good. Alright, so those enemies I just slammed into, those are called heavy inkies. They cost 10 paint points to defeat, and they give you 100 points per takedown. And they can also be comboed. So I'm gonna do like a few tiny combos here. And there you go. So the gate's going to unlock right after this mission. But I'm not going to go into that gate yet. I'm going to go and paint this entire thing here. I'm going to make myself brown so that I can get a multicolor. Then I'm going to defeat these inkies. And now I'll unlock the gate. Alright, so I'm going to set something up here later on. So what I'm going to set up is called a 7-color. Basically, it's a multicolor bonus, but it uses all 7 colors that you can turn yourself into. And usually it's not the most optimal way of getting points. Usually a large combo is a better way of doing it, but in some instances like this, getting a 7-color is pretty optimal. Alright, so I just got all the secondary colors. Now I think I just need blue. Yeah, blue's all I need here. Okay. I'm going to make myself purple. For a reason that I'll get into in a bit. Okay, so basically, also here's something I'll do. It's called a building repaint. No idea if it's a glitch or not, but it's in the Wii version and it's in the PC and current gen console versions. So basically, when you finish painting a group of buildings, and you can repaint one of them, and it'll give you a usually large amount of points. The amount of points you get is consistent for each group of buildings, but it could be anywhere from 200 points to 4,500 points, I think, is the highest one I've seen. So, okay, the reason why I made myself purple there is so that I could slam into that yellow paint bot, because that's a faster way of getting to that one group of buildings there. And by slamming into that yellow paint bot, I could make myself brown, and then I could slam to that red paint bot, make myself red, and then I could paint this entire little ring of buildings red. And the reason why I'm doing that is because that is a mission that's coming up here. Alright. So there you go, entire challenge complete. I unlocked a transform engine. I'll be getting that right now. I'll make myself yellow, because I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to unlock a gate soon. And beyond the gate, there are no yellow paint bots. Or at the very least, the closest one is pretty difficult to get to. And those heavy inkies I defeated before, that was part of that Biff mission that I just completed. So now the gate's unlocked. Alright, so now I'm just going to go and do a quick wall jump down here. A bit faster than walking down normally. And now I'm going to paint all the buildings down here, because every single building down here counts as a single group. So I need to make myself yellow, so that I could so that I could have more colors at my disposal. And now all the yellow combinations are done, and I can make myself blue. Alright. And there you go, 6 colors. I also have to free all these gradients. That's another mission that's coming up. And then do a little building repaint here. I'm pretty sure I have all of them. Okay, I didn't get all of them. That's fine. So as for which one I had missed, I'm pretty sure it is, let's see here. Ah, okay. Yeah, that mission's pretty odd, because you can definitely, it's very easy to miss those gradients. It's very easy to not get all of them in one go. So I made myself blue here so that I can do this mission right here. You're supposed to paint this entire little strip of buildings blue. And there you go. That mission isn't completely mandatory, however, not doing it is kind of risky, so I do like doing it. Alright. So as you can see, I unlocked that transform engine, and now I'm going to do this zip mission, but I'm also going to paint this entire group of buildings while doing it. Alright. And those are hot plates, by the way. I don't know if I explain what those are, but they're pretty, they can mess you up if you're not careful. And they can be a pretty big time loss if you accidentally touch one, because you have to, like, frantically mash a button in order to get off of them. Alright, so this right here, that's a professor mission. You have to... So basically, you need a certain amount of paint points in usually a specific color in order to get, in order to do them. You basically just enter into that little thing here, and then you frantically mash a button in order to fill up a meter, and that's really it. In the original Wii version, you instead had to shake the Wii remote and nunchuck. It's a little bit slower on the PC version, but I like to speed it up a bit by mashing the spacebar with 2 fingers like this. Alright. So now I go talk to Zip, because he's going to take me to really the only route that you can use to go to the next area. And these are Z-jumps. They're pretty self-explanatory. They're just like a guided way to get to the next area of the level. You can dismount from Z-jumps early by holding the right trigger, and that will be used in a few instances, but not very often. Okay, so really all I need to do is just get some good wall combos here, and that'll get me 230,000 points, which will be enough to get to the end of the level. Alright. So that was pretty good. Just gonna quick get to the end here. Alright. Okay. So the next level is the Chroma Dam. This level has some fairly involved strats in it, but really, there are a lot of backup strats, so it's fairly marathon safe. Alright. So as you can see, I grabbed those bonus points there. That's what that little swirly circle thing is. That is a 1,000 point bonus. You grab it and you get 1,000 points. Sometimes they're good to get, but only if they're not significantly out of the way. So I made myself orange here because I was sort of setting up that little avenue of buildings there. And the reason why is because the, well, I'll get into that when I do the rest of them. Alright. So basically, the reason why I made myself orange there was because I'm trying to set up a multicolor here, and the closest red paint bot is pretty far away from the closest yellow paint bot. Alright. So I just made myself red here, and I just go and skim across all those buildings. Alright. So now I do another multicolor here. just get everything. Alright. So that was pretty good. And as you can see, I just unlocked the transform engine. I'll get that after I'm done coloring these buildings. Get a bit of a building repaint there. 2 of them, to be exact. And now I'm going to jump over this gate, lock onto this transform engine. Let's see if I can get it here. It's actually quite a bit harder than it looks. Jumping over that gate requires you to be in a fairly specific corner. And I should have enough points. Oh yeah, I do have enough points, okay. But the amount of points you have in this section doesn't really matter all that much, I've found. What really matters is the amount of points you have when walking out of the next section. It really does judge. I mean, it really does make the difference between whether you have to use a backup strat or not. Usually walking out of this section with 180k is a good bet. It's not really the easiest thing to do, but once again, there are quite a few backup strats you can do, so it's pretty safe. Alright. So now I'm going to do this arty mission. Well, I'm going to do 2 of them. One of them wants you to paint this group of buildings, this little, the group of tall buildings orange, and the other one wants you to paint the short group of buildings purple. So I'm going to talk to her beforehand because it's actually faster than talking to her afterwards. So really the standard rule of thumb is if you have to go back there later on, then talk to them afterwards. If you don't have to go back there later on, then talk to them beforehand. So I did that pretty well. And I unlocked another transform engine. And now it's time to do the second mission, which is to just stock yourself up on paint points here and go this way. Now, it's very important that I keep that little ramp there green because it'll give me a better multicolor bonus than if I made it orange or purple. Okay. So that was pretty good. So, now this is a very odd thing. So, I said before that multicolor bonuses only work once, but in this section it's a little bit different. I'm going to see if I can get it here. Okay, so multicolor bonuses in this section, you can get multiple building repaints. That's what I meant, not multicolor bonuses. You can get multiple building repaints in this section, but only if you're in a specific color and only with specific buildings. So I'm going to see if I get enough points here. Alright. Once again, 180k is usually the safe spot, and I got 180k. Alright. That trick was discovered by Mike89. He did some initial routing for this game when it originally came out on Wii. Props to him. He definitely helped out a lot when it came to my routes of the PC version. Alright. So then I do this, and I go down here. Now, doing that mission unlocks this little thing called an air cannon. So then I go into this air cannon, press square. This game supports DualShock 4 out of the box, by the way. I feel like it is the superior way to play this game. Alright, so let's see if I have enough points to get to the end here. Alright, I think I have enough points. I'm just going to take a short detour here, get the 1,000-point bonus. And I'm also going to do a little thing here. Basically just set up a little multicolor here. Alright. Yeah, I have enough. Alright. And now I have enough to reach the end. Now, here's a Z-jump I'm going to drop off prematurely and intentionally ink myself. That's because there are little hydrants in this game that you can hose yourself down with. You can only lock onto those when you are inked. So I'm gonna lock onto that hydrant there, and that'll be good. Also, these presses, you gotta be really careful with them. You can sort of stop yourself from getting pushed off the edge if you press the right trigger in time. Like that. But, you know, it's fairly hard to think on the spot like that, so it's usually best to just avoid getting hit by them. I'm pretty sure, I don't know what the cycles are based off of, but, you know, it's fairly, it is best to just avoid getting hit by them, really. Alright. So this is Guggentra's Island. This level is very hard. When this game originally came out on Wii, it was criticized for having a really steep difficulty curve, and I'm pretty sure this level is why. Thankfully, it is a short level. However, the amount of enemies it spams at you is honestly something that has to be seen to be believed. So it starts off with these leech bots here, which are fairly trivial. You can just go into this little little canal here, and they will explode when they get in contact with the water. And then you have to talk to Biff beforehand, or else these Inkies will not spawn and you won't be able to do the mission. So before doing any other missions, I'm going to sort of, I'm going to go and combo around the place here. Because when you do the next mission, the game spawns more enemies. They're called jet bikes. And they can really mess you up. You know, they spawn paint bots. They spawn leech bots when they drive along, and they're also, like, really, really fast. So it's best to just, like, get any combos taken care of beforehand. Okay. So while I'm up here, I'm also going to complete another part of the mission, where I have to paint billboards right here. So these are the Inky jet bikes. They're quite terrible, and they can really mess up a run if you get hit by them too much. Alright. So I'm going to go down another little I'm going to go down another air cannon, and I'm going to sort of paint that group of buildings blue because that's part of another mission, and I'm going to paint that last billboard. And now I'm going to make myself red for this mission. Just make absolutely sure you do not hit any of... You do not get in contact with any of those jet bikes, because once again they can really mess up your day. Alright, so I got enough points to unlock the gate, but I'm going to get this transform engine anyway. So, as you can see, I'm pretty huge, and I'm also red. That's a strategy, because beyond this gate, there aren't really any red paint bots. You'll have to go back to get one. So, it's best to keep yourself red here for these little group bonuses. So here's one group, here's the other group. Made myself red for it. Now, make myself purple for both groups. Make myself brown. Ooh. Alright, I'm just going to go back and make myself red again. Alright, make myself brown. Both here and here. Make myself blue for this section, and then make myself green for this mission I'm going to do. Okay, so she wants you to use a Z-jump in order to paint the monorail stations, but you only need to do it partially. You can just go onto this building and jump straight onto here and just paint the second monorail station, and it's quite a bit faster. Alright. Okay. So that allowed me to hit the transform engine. You might have seen that little, that tank with the red, blue, and yellow rings on them, on the top. That's for later. Right now, I'm going to do some multicolors here. I'm going to also free some gradients, do a building repaint. And now I'm going to paint the rest of this building group blue. This will give me quite a few points. It'll give me about, like, I think over 10k. And there I go. Alright. So this tank is a rainbow tank. Or at least that's what I call it. I forget the actual name of it. But it gives you a rainbow power-up. And you have 40 seconds, and you are impervious to all damage. You are automatically the right color for any arty mission. And you also don't lose your color when you touch water. They're very useful. Already unlocked a gate, that's pretty good. And I'm automatically that color for the monorail. And I followed it off with a ×8 combo. Always nice. Alright. Okay, so that was pretty good. Now for the next section. I know that this section is actually part of the reason why I dislike this level, because, well, I'll talk about it when I get to it, but basically, the ending can really mess you up through, like, no fault of your own, if you're not careful. And I'm going to do some combos here. I'll tell you why. It's because I want to get enough points to reach the end before the end comes. I'm also going to get my rainbow power here. Because a rainbow power also makes you the right color for any professor mission. Oh, shoot. I didn't do all the, okay. Alright. So that's pretty good. Now all I need to do is I need to just get this transform engine, and then I need to... Well, I'll talk to Artie first, and then I'll hit the transform engine. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a blimp, by the way. Blimps are bad. They can really mess up your route. Just gonna... Okay. Alright, so the gate is most likely going to be unlocked right now. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna wait until the gate unlocking cutscene plays, because basically this button, it sends out a monorail. And the thing is, the in-game time does not stop when a gate unlocking cutscene plays. So if a gate unlocking cutscene plays as the monorail comes out, then the monorail will be too far away to get on. That's happened to me multiple times, and it's really awful when it happens. I mean, you can get on the monorail if you do a well-placed wall jump, but that's pretty difficult to do. Okay, so I'm going to switch to my mouse cursor for menuing. Because this game, you know, it was made to be navigated. This game's menu was made to be navigated using a Wii remote pointer. So the menus aren't exactly the most fun to navigate with a regular controller. So now we have the Docklands. So this is a very interesting level. It is, I'm pretty sure, the longest level in the game. Or, at the very least, it's one of the longest levels. And the thing that makes this level interesting is the 7 color bonuses you can do. So basically, I'm setting up one right now. And the thing about the 7 color bonuses in this level is that they give you a huge amount of points. This 7 color bonus in particular gives you 37,000 points. So it's always recommended to go for it. Okay. So I got everything, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so I'm not going to bother with yellow because later on you can get yellow because later on there is a professor mission right here that requires you to be yellow for it. So I can just use a professor mission in order to get on these remaining non-colored parts with yellow. Also, you need to complete this professor mission in order to get the 7 color bonus. Alright. So there you go. Gate unlocked. Transform engine also unlocked. Oh, shoot. I forgot. You don't actually need to do this in the route. Oops. Yeah, you actually don't need to free those gradients in the route. You get more than enough points in order to skip them. Alright. So, there are 2 other large 7 colors in this part of the level. There's one that gives you 35,000, and there's another one that gives you around 27,000. And I'm pretty sure that's, and then there's another one in the 3rd section that gives you, like about 20,000 or so, I think. And I'm going to just free these gradients from the warehouse. Gives me a few extra points. And now I'm going to do this Artie mission, except I'm not going to actually do the Artie mission yet. I'm going to set up the Artie mission, but I'm also going to mix some brown in it. So basically, Artie wants you to color this group of shipping crates every single color except for brown. So she wants you to color this orange, she wants you to color these purple, and she wants you to color the others blue. And there you go. Alright. So there you go, there's a 7 color that gives you 35,000 points. And now you go to Zip, and I'm going to and unlike in the previous ship, I'm going to do the Professor mission before getting on the ship. I'm going to do the Professor mission before coloring the ship because you have to actually, traverse on top of the crates in order to actually get to the spot. And if you try coloring beforehand, then you'd have to actually plan around that, and it's a bit more difficult, so I just do it like this. So now I make myself purple. I'm also going to recolor some of the red crates. Alright. Okay, so I got every color involving red. Now it is time. Now, and I got all the secondary colors, so now it's time for just blue. Alright. And there you go. So now I'm going to do these silos here. They're part of an arty mission, but I'm not going to do the actual arty mission. I'm just going to paint the silos. Make myself brown. All right. Oops. Yeah, also, when you're big, you do get, like, sort of pushed off of things a lot. And it's something you have to watch out for. So then I go down there, get the bonus, and then I go up here for the transform engine, lock onto that button so that I can get onto these platforms, get this bonus and get this billboard, and get the transform engine. Oh, by the way, an explanation about billboards. They give you 500 points each and they cannot be comboed. Alright. So you don't really have to bother with a huge multicolor for this group of 4 buildings. Really all you need is like 2 colors and then do a building repaint on one of them. Pretty simple. Alright. So then I go up here. Get the 1,000-point bonus, get this billboard as well. And I make myself red. So this is another arty mission that I am not going to do. I am instead going to just do a 7-color on these crates here. And then make myself blue. Make myself green. And it's important that you don't go on top of those crates because the inky turret will shoot you, or at least it has a higher chance of shooting you. It can still shoot you if you're. It can still shoot at you if you're not on top of the crates, as you saw there. And it's very important that it shoots you as little as possible because it will collide with the crates, and you'll have to repaint those crates. Okay, so here I'm going to use my rainbow power in order to color all the buildings here. Well, not all of the buildings, but quite a few of them. And the reason for that is because there are no yellow paint bots whatsoever in this area, and you have to do quite a hike in order to actually get them. In order to actually get a yellow paint bot in the previous area. And just, you know, be sure to color this area as much as possible, because it is by far the largest area. I don't think I did it all that well, but that's fine. Alright. Alright, so now I do, really all you need to do in this like section is just do a single color and then a building repaint. It's not all that involved. Okay. So that's pretty good. Get another building repaint there. And I'm going to stay here until I get 290k. That's enough to unlock the end of the level. And I almost have enough here. Just need a bit more. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Now the only thing left is to just end the level. Alright. So that was pretty good. A sub 14 on that level is actually quite amazing. So now for Hanging Gardens. Hanging Gardens is about the same length as Docklands, however there's a bit more stuff to do in it. It's a lot less spaced out. So first I'm going to make myself green here so that I can complete this arty mission here. Alright. So that was pretty good. So now before I move on, I'm going to do a few wall combos in the outer rim of this level. Alright. I'm going to get this little 1,000-point bonus here. Alright. So despite how bad that looked, that was actually a pretty, pretty good. Because there are many chances to fail in that level. Or at least that part of the level. And now I just gotta make myself green here. And I also need enough paint points. Okay. In order to get this water pump. So, water pump, I also did this in downtown, but water pumps are mandatory. You have to do water pump missions because they actually do block off part of the level if you don't. So now I go down here, made myself orange because some orange inkies will spawn. And then you go down here, so there's sort of this little, there's this large little crevasse here. You don't go down there yet. First, I'm going to have to unlock a transform engine, and then I'll do a few missions, and then I'll go back down there. So you unclog this water pump here. And there you go. All right. So I'm going to do all 3 of these arty missions where she wants me to paint these silos. And you have to paint these silos. The top half, you need to paint them blue. Well, I mean the top third, you need to paint them blue. And then the middle, you need to paint them green. And at the bottom, you paint them yellow. And I'm going to... It's actually important that I be yellow here because there is a mission coming up where having yellow beforehand is actually quite handy. So here I'm going to hit the transformation engine. They'll turn the ink into water, which will make the upcoming mission a lot safer. So basically, you need to slam these orange inkies, and then you slam these red ones here. Go down to Biff. And then you go to Zip here, and he will get you to go in the air cannon, which is really the only way you can go to the next part of this route. And then Biff will spawn right next to you. And then you'll have to beat these heavy inkies. And then Zip will spawn again, and he'll have you go through this Z jump here. Alright, so the gate is now unlocked. So now all I need to do is just go right down here. And then do these spikes. I'm going to do something called spike dragging, which is an intentional damage strat where basically it's too slow to walk around spikes, and I have enough paint points so that I don't die while going through spikes. So I just drag myself through spikes instead of actually doing it the way the game wants me to. Alright. So right after that professor mission, I'm going to set up a 7-color as well as an arty mission that's going to be unlocked later. I'm also going to do like a few small combos as well. Not what I wanted to do. Okay, so essentially. Uh-oh, okay, that's good. Alright, so now I'm ready for the arty mission. So that's the exact order in which she wants you to paint those. And I'm also going to do this little mission here. It's another mission that she will want you to do. Where basically you paint this group of silos blue and green. Oops. Sort of messed that up. That's fine. And I also have to deal with that turret right there. So I'm just going to go quick here. And I'm going to make myself blue again. Make sure you get the Spire because despite it not counting towards an actual group bonus, whenever Artie wants you to paint Silo, she wants you to paint the Spire. I have no idea why that is, but that's how it is. Okay, so I'm also going to do a little warehouse bonus here. Alright. So that's definitely not the best way that could have gone, but that's fine. Okay. So now after that, I can just go to Artie, mission complete. Now go to Artie here, mission complete. And I'm not going to do that Artie mission because it's a bit more involved, and I'm pretty sure the Professor mission here is actually faster. So this requires 60 purple paint points. I have 91, so I'm pretty good. Alright. Gonna go into... Okay, I'm not gonna spike drag. Yeah. Spike dragging is not intentional, by the way. And I'm going to just sort of combo the rest of the way here. Okay, that's good. And then after that, you make yourself orange here for the next Professor mission that you have to do. And really, there isn't much else you have to do in this part of the level, aside from, like, some combos. So, this would be a good time to read donations, if this were to get in. And I need to get 220k here. Okay. Yeah, that's enough. Alright. So now all there really is to do is get to the end. Which also requires an unskippable ride through a wind tunnel. And then after this, you can go straight to the end. Alright. So now for Chroma City Fun Park. So this is a fairly short level. There isn't really much going on in it. However, there are some fairly interesting parts. So you just lock onto that big paint bot, and then you get this blue one, spike drag here. And then you defeat all these heavy inkies. Yeah, they can ink you pretty easily. Luckily, there's a hydrant right here. Pretty much this entire section can ink you really easily. Okay. Make sure you don't get that rainbow power-up until later. You actually need it for an upcoming mission. In fact, you need it for several upcoming missions. Well, not several. You only need it for 2. And then you have the transform engine. Alright. So after hitting the transform engine, I get my rainbow power up and I go to the next section. Okay. So I use this rainbow power-up in order to get all these multicolored inkies here, since you're automatically the right color for all of them during the rainbow power-up. And there you go. Sorry if that blinded you, by the way. I'd pay for your optometrist fees, but I'm a bit short on cash right now. Alright, so I sort of forgot to talk to Artie here. That's fine. It's good to talk to Artie after that, because you don't need to talk to her again. Because you don't need to return to that area. Alright. So that was pretty good. So now, this professor thing. We're going to get the rest of our points here. We're going to unlock a gate, and we're also going to unlock a transform engine. Now we gotta make ourselves brown. Gonna get a bunch of inkies to spawn, so that I can combo them and get a higher score. Because after you transform this, no more inkies will spawn. So first I'm going to combo these inkies. And now I'm going to do some wall combos here. And there you go. Alright. And that's enough to unlock the transform engine. That was really good, actually. That's probably the best I've ever done it, honestly. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to Zip here. He'll take you down a path that you're going to go down anyway. Now, here is a funny thing. You're not supposed to do this little barrier jump here. You're supposed to go all the way around. I'm going to see if the camera will stop messing with me here. Yeah, that's another one of the enemies in this game, the camera. Okay, I got it. Now, you have to not press that button there. If you disable those spikes, then more leech bots will spawn, and they're a huge pain. So you need all 100 pain points in order to do this mission, by the way. And when you transform this building, the spikes will disappear. Alright. And then just go down the middle here, because these conveyor belts go backwards, and the middle makes you go normal speed. So I don't know if you've noticed yet, but talking to NPCs immediately makes paint bots respawn. Also, whoops, didn't mean to take down that Inky there. That turret. That actually is a bit of a time loss because those cost 50 paint points, and you need 50 paint points to transform that water pump. Alright. Now during this arty mission, just make yourself orange here. And then go back here, make yourself red. And do a few combos along the way. Always a good thing to do. And now, coming up is a very odd mission. Basically, it's another transform mission that you need all 100 paint points to do. However, it requires an air cannon, and air cannons automatically deduct 1 paint point when you go inside of them, because it counts going into the air cannon while painted as having enough paint. So I sort of messed this up here. I actually need to make myself red for this. Okay, now I'm good. Okay, now I have 100 paint points. Alright. So the gate's unlocked, but I'm going to, once again, stay in here until I get the transform engine. And I'll be doing that by doing a few things. One, I'm going to paint the upper part of the level here. These little rafters. Or whatever they're called. And then I will free these gradients. And then I will do the rest, and then I will get the rest of my points by doing a wall combo on the rest of these. And there you go, transformation engine unlocked. And I'm going to ignore Zip there because he takes you down a very slow route. I am instead just going to go straight into the air cannon and straight out into the gate area. So this area is pretty short. It is basically just the last thing you have to do here. And there really isn't much to say here. You just, like, you use your rainbow. There's a rainbow tank here. You just use your rainbow power in order to complete this arty mission here. Alright. So there you go, the gate is unlocked. And now we are entering the final two levels, Ministry of Ink and Lake Radia. Ministry of Ink is a fairly standard level, except there's this one section in the middle. That's sort of a set piece, if you could call it that, called the Mega Reactor, where it is essentially multiple missions in one. So here in the little intro area, just going to paint some stuff orange because that is required for an arty mission later on. And use the rainbow power to defeat all of these turrets. I'm going to use what's left of my rainbow power to do this professor mission, which requires you to have 50 points of both red and yellow. Alright. And I guess I'll just use the rest of my rainbow power to defeat these little elite inkies here. And there you go. Alright. And now you paint the center of this little building group here orange. Watch out for that red inky. I'm going to set up a multicolor here first. And there you go. Okay, and now this is another arty mission. You paint these little buildings orange. And there you go. Now that's really it as far as missions go. The only thing left is to just really paint this little group of buildings here, and you'll have enough points to get through the gate. Well, that and the transform engine. Alright. So there you go. Now the next area is now the next area coming up is the Mega Reactor mission I was talking about. So I'm going to grab this Mega Paint Bot that's hanging out here before I do this mission. And there you go. Now, first you just transform this water pump with green. And you have to transform a total of 3 water pumps. But I'm going to go and grab this bonus beforehand. Alright. So this is the next part of the mission, and it's basically what makes up the rest of the mission. You just paint all these hexagons, and it gets harder and harder as it goes along, adding enemies as well as hazards such as ink pits. Alright. So that was pretty good. Now for the next section, it adds inkies. And luckily, and here's the thing, I'm actually really lucky that the air cannon was right there, because this mission is usually really punishing if you mess up. Like, if you're the wrong color, then you're gonna have to, like, travel back for the right color. Not to mention, you're gonna have to repaint all the hexagons you went over trying to get the right color for the other area. It's just a very stressful mission, and for most parts it does require a lot of precision in how it's done. So I'm coming up at the final part of this mission. You just had to color all these hexagons blue, and that's it. It's all done. Alright. So now after that, this is pretty much like the last full part of the level you need to do. The rest of the level, the whole rest of the level is skipped over, basically. So he wants you to defeat 2 of these tanks. We've seen these tanks before. They were in the Chroma Dam. and they require 100 paint points each to beat. So really the strategy here is to color some buildings, and basically just do a whole lap around this entire section here, while also collecting bonus points. Alright. So that's the first tank down. Now for the second. Just do the same thing you did before. Do a lap around the level. And grab all the paint. And make sure to not get hit. And there you go. So that gate's unlocked, but we're not done here. We need to unlock the end of the level here. So the way to do that is to just do a 7-color on this entire group of buildings here. Sadly, you cannot combo them. They are resistant to combos because of their collision detection. Get some orange in there. And be sure to get some yellow as well. Now all that's left is purple. And just checking over. Yep, I got every color. Also got a decent combo there. That's always good. And now I unlock the transform engine. Okay. Alright, so I think I have enough points to get to the end of the level. There are a whole bunch of Inkies hanging out here, so I have enough paint points for a spike drag, so I'm going to just ignore that button, spike drag all the way. And now I can just get the rest of my points with these Inkies. Okay, have enough points. And now the final gate is unlocked. So, I'm wall riding here because that bridge is actually a trap. Basically, if you go down that bridge, it'll fall out from under you. You fall into a pit with a bunch of enemy Inkies, and you can't get off, and you cannot get out until a certain amount of time has elapsed. It was once thought to be the only way to get through the level, but that's not the case. You can just wall ride along the edge like I did. Okay, so now the final level is coming up. This level is actually really short. The thing about it is that it does cut off backtracking in the middle. You also have to do every single mission in the beginning. Also, that blimp is right there. It sort of prevents you from actually it sort of prevents you from moving forward. It will block your Z jump and make you fall into the ink pit below. So you can't really speed through that. So I decide to wait by getting a ×5 combo. Though ideally it would have been a ×6 instead. So the route for this level is you need to get 90,000 points before you reach the first gate. So what I mean by that is there are 2 gates in this level. The second gate is the gate that blocks the final boss. You need 90,000 points to get to it. The first gate, you know, right near the first gate, there's a skip that allows you to go straight to the end and right next to the final boss gate. So it is important that we get 90,000 points before then. Okay, so now I'm going to do a zip mission here. I'm also going to simultaneously paint these silos, because that will give me a group bonus. Very helpful. And I did it perfectly. Okay, and now for the next area. Pretty straightforward. Just get this rainbow power up. And then defeat all these elite inkies here. They're all multicolored, so it's pretty difficult to defeat them without the rainbow power. And you certainly can't combo them. Alright, so I'm almost done with these missions. All I need to do is talk to Artie, and she wants me to just drop down here, free all the Gradients, and that's really it. And make sure that Inky Turret does not hit any of these, because these things give you a group bonus as well. Alright. So now I have enough points to get 90k before the end. Not going to bother with much of the... I'm not going to really bother with many of these 1,000 point bonuses, because you do have to take a slight detour for a lot of them. And there you go. You're on the ship, and this means you can't turn back past this point. The ship lifts up into the air, goes into space. You cannot go back. So I'm gonna not do any of those Z jumps, and I'm going to instead do wall jumps, because it is a lot faster. And now I have enough points. Alright. So now after that, I can just go on this silo here, or this little cylindrical thing, jump straight to the end, and unlock the final boss gate. Well, the final boss gate is already unlocked, but I can get to the final boss gate just like that. Alright. Make sure to make yourself green before doing this mission. And there you go. Here's the final boss. Now really this final boss is fairly straightforward. You just have to paint these hexagons. You have to paint them green. On the first phase, there are 4 phases in total. If you die, you respawn at the beginning of the phase you died at. It's also recommended to jump on top of these hexagons because when Comrade Black is aiming his weapon at you, he will then not hit the hexagons, requiring you to repaint them. So more colors are added each time. More colors are added in each phase. And more spikes are also added. Okay. And yeah, getting inked is very common. Thankfully, it's really easy to recover from. It's recommended just stick to one color and just do the little lap around. The exception, of course, is if you get inked, in which case just hose yourself off and get the colors closest to you. Like so. Alright, so one more orange left. There you go. Now after this there will be one more phase where it adds brown to the mix. Alright. Okay. So now for the final phase. This is pretty difficult, and I actually did lose a run to this phase before. So that's all the purple done. Now let's go for green. Now I'm going to go for orange, or not. Okay, now I'm going to go for orange. Yeah, that happens sometimes. The camera angle of this boss fight makes it pretty difficult to judge your distance. So now all I have left is purple. I mean, purple. All I have left is brown. And only 2 brown, to be exact. 3 brown make that. Didn't see that brown right there. Alright. So that boss fight could have gone a little bit better, but it's still pretty good. Okay, so time comes up when I hit this transform engine I just unlocked. So right now, time. So yeah, my final time there was 1 hour, 52 minutes, 27 seconds. And that was the Blob. I really hope this game gets in. I really do think it has great potential as a speed game, and I would love it if it got more attention and got more people routing it and finding things in it. And I really do hope it's considered.